Each week on Unicorn, we introduce you to some of the brightest ideas from around the country. But this week, in a very special episode, we're going to show you a few of the not-so-bright ones.
Welcome, welcome, welcome! Yo, yo, yo,
So what would you say is your USP?
So, great question, bro. Very positive question, and that's what I like about you. You've got that positive energy around you, which is why I actually positively said yes to this interview.
Okay.
You know about atoms? I mean, I see a good energy around you too, okay? So atoms, neutrons and everything, we are positive trons. Ooh. We're a positive startup and everything about us has always been like that. So that's good. Ask me more positive questions.
So, do you have what it takes to be the next unicorn out of India?
Bro, love your energy, love your questions. What are you doing after this interview?
All right, well, you're a young entrepreneur. What is your startup strategy?
When we go to a VC, we don't say we are applicants. We are applicant. That's the positive energy. Are we done?
So what makes your idea so unique?
First of all, I must thank you for coming here. You wonderful question, wonderful person. I have really enjoyed everything I am meeting with you. We are doing different business nobody has ever done. First, we love internet. We are using internet now. People internet us. Big beautiful internet. Internet is internet then back. One second, hold on. Order coming. Hello, good morning. Sorry, good night. No problem, sir. Immediate delivery, sir. Oi, Guddu, order आ गया भाई. जल्दी कर जा. Guddu, गाल सुन. Order आया.
कल भी लेट हो गया था. बहुत काम है अभी.
देखो ये कुत्ते. तुम इतने हरामजादे. की कह रहे हैं तू? Order आया, पहला order है. जब तो नया business खोला, तुझे इन्हें salary दे रहा मैं. चल. गला ना कर. चल. Out.
So, do you have a sustainable revenue model that will keep you financially solvent in the future?
Very good question. 1 second. तो पम्मी किन्नू भेजता है यार. तू बोले से बड़े उल्टे-पुल्टे सवाल पूछ रही, कुछ समझते आ नहीं रहा. तो मैं तो नया सूट भी पाया, तू बोले से स्मार्ट लगी. ਹੁਣ ਕੀ करना है? अच्छा ठीक है. Madam, finish ma'am. Interview. I have to go for delivery ma'am. बस सवाल पूछ रही हैं, अभी पूछने दें.
What is Bharat Pratham?
देखिए, हम लोग देश के लिए काम कर रहे हैं. This startup take India to front of the world.
Are you going to be the next unicorn out of India?
खैर, जो भी आप कह रही हैं वो तो जरूर बनेंगे हम, लेकिन उससे बहुत आगे जाने की हम लोग की संभावना है. हम लोग जब ने ये सोचा इसके बारे, तो नेताजी ने हमको सारा, आप कहते हैं ना, क्या कहते हैं अपनी बिजनेस में, वीसी.
Yeah, venture capitalist.
हमारे यहाँ पे एनसी है, नेताजी हैं हमारे, जो हमारे को कैपिटलिस्ट लेके हमको आगे जाएंगे. उनके साथ हो रहा है सब. एनसी लेके जाएंगे और वही यूनिकॉर्न बनाएंगे हम सबको. तो बस अब हो गया, अब हमने आगे भी जाना है, बहुत काम है हमारे को. जय हिंद. चलो भैया. यूनिकॉर्न. And live from New Delhi, this is Saturday Night Live.
Okay, no. It's none of those things. It's not live, it's not Saturday, and you're taking my line.
Right. No, I just got too excited. This was so much of fun, right? I mean, this was great fun, but all yours. Sorry.
Thank you very much. So on Unicorn, we have seen such a range of exciting startups. Today, let's check out some of the highlights from this season and what these startups have achieved.
Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, and even smaller cities across the country and the world. The startup fever has gripped the nation, and one show has covered it all. Unicorn Chasing the Startup Dream has encapsulated the stories of startups with a difference.
Failure is the only real thing when you're doing a startup. Success is very elusive.
And we've had the biggest startup influencers on the show to talk about the biggest policies affecting the startup ecosystem.
If you look at in last 5-6 years, India has produced at least 50 local heroes.
We've heard about food tech, we're thinking about health tech. Essentially what we're trying to use is leverage technology in a big way to reach out to an audience.
From hyperlocal to food tech, from financial technology to the Internet of Things, from robotics to e-commerce, we've shown you the ideas that worked and some that needed a little more hard work. We threw their stories out to mentors and asked for verdicts.
The trailblazers, the dream catchers, the rock stars of the startup world. We showcase their stories, their fears and their victories.
The key is what value are you creating for the consumer?
धंधा करना ज़रूरी है, पैसा आना ज़रूरी है. Till the time that doesn't happen, you're not running a real business.
On Unicorn, we look at the companies that aim to rise above the edtech bubble. If there was a big bang in India's startup universe, it probably began right here. How cool is this? Let's find out.
Wow, that was quite a season. I know you were right smack bang in the middle
That's
of it.
right.
But you know, from all the highlights, the part that I thought was most interesting, the term underdog. Companies that people weren't giving much of a chance, but could well rise from within the ashes and become something really huge. What was all that about?
Yeah, so I think that one of the things is those really scrappy startups, the new ones for whom a unicorn might be in the very distant future. What they're doing is they're really telling us about what India wants right now. I'm thinking of Woo, I'm thinking of Stay Uncle, these dating apps that are terribly India-tailored.
Have you chosen just dating apps because of a personal reason? I mean, you just like them?
No, I mean, they really touched something that was interesting to me in that these are very Indian issues that they're facing, right? Stay Uncle found that hotels here would really not let people stay unless they were married, couples stay unless they're married. So they found a way to let people in the country be connected to hotels that give them that opportunity. Same with Woo. It has dating criteria that maybe are more interesting to Indian users. These days, people are a little bit more interested in eating interestingly, right? They've got a bit more flex cash, so they want to know about artisanal coffee. We see a startup like Sleepy Owl then coming out of those ashes.
So tell me, you know, I find it interesting that you spoke about very interesting startups, and you're totally right, underdog may one day really break through.
Right.
But people wanted to be, it became fashionable to be the
That's
underdog.
right.
So were there plays that you saw, examples that you saw where the companies weren't really underdogs? And I heard all these terms, the cockroach, the underdog, I mean, many other insect kingdom, you know, and animal kingdom terms were taken. Was it just fashionable to do that?
I think that there are a lot of terms that we've seen throughout the season that get thrown around because it sort of keeps you in the cadre of startups. And then in some ways you can even justify certain actions. But at the end of the day, the startups that really are in startup mode are still scrappy. A lot of them are working out of apartments. They're working out of garages like the ones we're in. And they're not thinking as much about how are they going to get a plant installation on their wall. They're not thinking about expanding with 30 people. They're thinking about how they can expand their day by 30 more minutes to get that much more work done. And that was so exciting to be around that kind of energy. And you can tell an underdog from somebody who's established but wants to play the underdog, I think, through that energy.
Okay, so that's one of the interesting stories. What else do you have?
Yeah, so these underdogs are definitely the small startups, but big or small, the story this year was demonetization when it comes to startups. So let's see how demonetization impacted the world of startups.
If there's one word which has found its way into the lives of all Indians, it's demonetization. The year 2016 witnessed many announcements from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But it's undeniable. Demonetization or Notbandi has been the biggest financial policy upheaval of the decade. As calls for a cashless economy sweep the nation and strong moves to curb corruption and black money are put into action, surely all is not rosy with the startup world. The ripples of this policy have been felt across all startups, and if anyone says it hasn't affected them, we're calling their bluff. So let's be honest, there are voices for and against demonetization. But let's find out, what do startup founders and influencers have to say about this policy?
A lot of our deals crashed because of the demonetization being announced so suddenly in a very short duration. But that being said, we believe that if this kind of an action does help eradicate black money in India, probably all the inconvenience was worth it at the end.
I think fintech will happen quicker because of this whole focus on going cashless. I think they will see the biggest movement. but I think healthcare will not be far behind.
I think the industry which is really going to do well, according to me, is the mobile banking segment. With the demonetization, I think that's the way forward. If we are looking at a cashless economy, I think that's one industry where I would bet.
I think in terms of fintech, the demonetization is a big boost. The need which the fintech startups would have had to bring a proposition and get their customers to understand what the potential was has happened literally in hours and days.
The word, I think, the word of the year, demonetization. What has it done and what will be the medium and long term benefits or not?